Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the live stream. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances, but we're here to talk about the horror show that we witnessed at Old Trafford. Losing 2-1 in the manner we did is just devastating beyond words. I mean, I'm just struggling to even construct how I feel right now, but I just was watching the game with my dad and I said, this feels like a punishment watching this. It just felt like I was being punished having to watch that game, having to sit through it. From the moment Robert Sanchez got sent off, my head was hot. I haven't been this angry in a very long time, and frankly, I'm having flashbacks to 22-23 right now. In some way, I feel worse than I did in a lot of the games we played in 22-23. That just summarizes how angry I am after that performance. So yeah, we're going to talk about the game, exactly what went wrong, how things got as bad as they did in this game. We'll talk about Maresca because he is going to be the biggest talking point in this game. And yeah, welcome to the stream. Like I said, it's been a while since we've been live together, but I just think with everything that went down, I needed to come on here and rant to you guys, go through exactly how this game got as bad as it did, and just pray for better times, because I'm sorry, how is it I'm actually seeing Manchester United fans call that a poor performance from them? They just beat us. They haven't won many games. And they are just walking away after that one thinking we're a little bit disappointed actually with how that went down. So what do we say about Chelsea in that case? What do we actually say about Chelsea, guys? I mean, I'm just lost for words here, really. I've got a smile on my face, but trust me, it's because I am trying to stay as calm as I can be. But yeah, where to start? Where to start? Because I think even before the red cards, guys, I looked at those first 3.5 minutes and we just looked like we weren't confident in ourselves. We were so erratic with everything. We were just so desperate to try and get the ball out of our own half that we were really just making stupid errors and almost feeding Man United this newfound confidence in the first 3 minutes to come and cause us trouble. So even before the red card, I looked at that game and I saw a lack of a game plan from us. We looked like we weren't settling in well. Obviously, the weather didn't help, but we're not about to talk about the weather here in this game, are we? The conditions, yep, weren't great, but for both teams, right? So those first 3 minutes really just set such a bad tone to the game. And then who else, guys? Then my very favorite, Robert Sanchez. For those of you who know, I have always said and been Robert Sanchez's biggest critic, and I've never been rushing to say that 2 or 3 games from him are enough to tell me that he can be a consistently good goalkeeper for us, that he won't make massive errors, that his decision making won't continue to get worse. But there he showed it. And again, not just the red card. If you guys remember, I think it was minute 2, he gave away the ball to a player in red. And I thought, yeah, great. This is it. Here we go again. And then here comes the red card. I mean, absolutely awful. He even overthinks his own move. He first comes out, then he backs out. He doesn't commit to it. And then, yeah, absolutely horrific red cards. And that's it. Our game is pretty much over then and there, because Enzo Maresca decides to, as opposed to giving us a little bit of confidence, to have a go at this Man United side. We haven't won at Old Trafford since 2013, but we're world champions, remember? And we're coming up against the side that has no confidence, that has had no identity on the pitch, have pretty much had not a clue of what to do and how to act in these games. And we decide that we're going to basically sabotage ourselves. Well, Maresca decides that, because in my opinion, the decisions he made from the red card onwards pretty much set us up to fail then and there. It was like he accepted defeat minute 4 and we weren't even going to have a go. So let's actually talk about what those key decisions were before I say hi to everyone in the chat. The substitutions, guys. So Esteval obviously comes off, and I understand that. That was probably the only sensible decision amongst those substitutions, because he's the youngest player. Yes, you're going to bring on a defender. You're going to bring off our youngest player who, yeah, we've been intrigued by his game, but doesn't have that experience. And then comes the decision of taking off Pedro Neto, which is exactly where I go insane, because why are you bringing off Pedro Neto? Arguably the winger that literally tracks back more than anyone. So if you're worried about defence, He literally helps out defensively. He's got pace for days, so you're instantly eliminating counter-attacking threat as well in that department. And again, it's like such a shot in the foot with that substitution. I just did not understand it whatsoever. Pedro Neto should have stayed onto the pitch. In hindsight, that actually probably would have given us a better chance later on to maybe get a draw, because that's what point it got to, hoping and praying maybe for a late draw in the end. But potentially in hindsight, Pedro Neto helps us get something out of that game. But again, that wasn't thought through, and it wasn't, yeah, it clearly wasn't planned. And then Cole Palmer comes off as well, which again, I'm thinking, I didn't know that he had picked up an injury or that he was feeling pain or whatever. So again, I was just a little bit lost for words, but those substitutions could have been done differently. And that's again where things just continued to go south. United, it's like we fed them some new found confidence. There you go, have a go at us. They were constantly putting on pressure. We were making our own mistakes at the back. And again, I was just disappointed to see Maresca set us up so defensively against a team that struggles so much in attack. We're supposed to be the world champions. We're supposed to be the ones that have the confidence. We're supposed to be the ones that are going there to collect 3 points after what has been a poor week for us. So, yeah, it just didn't make sense. His approach was wrong. And frankly, I feel like he let down the players as well. Because again, we just really did feel the pressure and mistakes just started to mount and mount and mount in that moment. And then you'd think, okay, if we are opting to sit back defensively and defend, well, great, because we can't even do that, really. Where our defense was abysmal. It really, really was. That's pretty much the best way I can use. I've really told you guys how I feel about our one-on-one defending when it comes to Chalobah, Tosin, etc. And I saw that there was so much errors there that, again, if United had been more clinical in some of their opportunities, we potentially concede more. We didn't even have a shot. When was our first shot on target? Can someone remind me? I think it was the second half, or was it even just the goal from Trevor Chalobah? I don't know, but honestly, it just felt like everyone was pretty much, yeah, everyone gave up. And I saw it in the second half against Bayern Munich, but I thought, okay, you're in the Champions League, you're up against Bayern Munich, you feel like you can't come back into this game. All right, it's not okay because we've seen the greatest of comebacks in the Champions League, but to go then to Old Trafford and have the same mentality of the game is done and dusted, yeah, it's just simply not good enough, is it? It is simply not good enough, and it's why it feels as crap as it does, because it never should have gotten to that point. So yeah, again, stupid errors made there, absolutely erratic in our decisions. Some of the forward passes we were playing, again, we just felt like we were rushing so much that we just messed up even the few opportunities we had. I actually felt sorry for Joao Pedro in many instances of those in large stretches of the game, because I thought he was actually trying at times to make something happen, but because he was so isolated up top, because everyone now was so afraid to even go and try and push for some forward play, so he was kind of left to fend for himself. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, Joao Pedro, our only attacking outlet against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Like, let that sink in. I mean, Maresca, could you give these players any less confidence? It's just absolutely absurd to me. And then, yeah, so Philip Jorgensen's in goal for us, obviously, after that. And I'd argue that he was actually also at fault for the second goal, because I can't even remember which defender it was. It was a poor pass back, and then it put a lot of pressure into Wes to try and recover. So then it went into a corner. And again, it's like those little moments of lacking concentration, lacking good decision making for a split second cost you. And it's all about those moments of error. And yeah, and we concede a second. And then I'm thinking, yeah, that's pretty much it done. And I'm looking at the away fans who are there in the drenching rain, having to watch that and having to just see how Maresca pretty much gave up at minute 4. So yeah, it was just really, really bad, guys. And then just to summarize really quickly before I get to some of your thoughts in the comments down below, the second half, I just said to my dad, I don't really feel like we can do anything, even still. Yeah, and then it became 10v10, but even still, why was it so difficult? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when Maresca had the opportunity, almost like a second chance to redeem himself at the poor substitutions he made, Guess what, guys? He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it because he decides that the best course of action is to introduce Malagusto and Tyreek George. Need I say more? Need I say more? We have a combination of £100 million wingers sat on the bench in Jamie Gittins and Garnacho or whatever, almost. And you opt to bring on Tyreek George and Malagusto. Again, where is that confidence boost? When things looked like they were happening a little bit for us, you could have injected a little bit more into that front line and actually have gone for it. Yeah, it would have been backwards, but there still would have been at least 15, 20 minutes there for us to actually produce something because we were trying to get further up there in the second half when Man United dropped off a little bit. But even still, you decided to bring on Tyreek George, who you subbed on and subbed off a couple games ago, and Malo Gusto, another defender on, as opposed to Garnacho, back to Old Trafford, who is so keen to play against Manchester United, and also Jamie Gittins, another player, another winger there, an attacking outlet. That didn't make sense to me. So then again, as opposed to undoing an error at the start, Maresca just added another and another. And that was it. It was like shots fired, absolute sabotage. And that's why it hurt so much, because we genuinely still could have had an opportunity there to at least steal a point late on. Trust me, I wouldn't have been happy still, but it would have been so much more different, right? You take a point away, fine, call it a day. I mean, how cruel is that stadium to us? So yeah, absolute sabotage is how I saw that game. The substitutions, Maresca, you genuinely had an opportunity to set it right when you had an opportunity to make substitutions, but instead Tyreek George and Malagusto were the answer. That's it. That's all I have to say. Yeah, but anyways, guys, for those of you who have just joined, welcome to the stream. Hope you're all well. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let me know your thoughts. Get involved in the chat. But yeah, just lost for words after that performance, to be fair. Arguably the worst performance ever from Chelsea's point of view, Maresca out, and it has begun, guys. I am having flashbacks to 22-23. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Big Kefa strikes again. 2-1, what happened? Well, couldn't even tell you, mate. Just think Man United will never be relegated, sadly. Imagine that. So much for breaking the streak. We just went out and made it worse. Yeah, you're right. We somehow made it worse. We went there. Not only did we give them some newfound confidence and we let them play some good football and score some goals against us, but we also made our streak worse. Yeah, it's pretty abysmal. The Neto and George substitutions baffle me so much. Shot himself in the foot, Maresca did. This was very similar to Newcastle last season. Concede, get a red play. Yeah. And honestly, Maresca actually had an opportunity to show how he deals with adversity in that game, because I'm sure many managers don't really sit there and prepare for an instance where their goalkeeper gets sent off minute 4. However, it is all about thinking on the spot and actually coming up with something sensible when you have the talent sat there on the bench as well. Like, I totally get it, you're going to bring on a defender, but don't take off 2 attacking players there and then obviously 3 with the Palmer substitution. But why did he take off Pedro Neto? I just really, really want a justification for it. I don't think we'll get one. And I'm not too sure if Maresca's press conference quotes have come out, but if they have, we'll go through them in a second. But yeah, I don't understand how that decision could have possibly been justified. Jorgensen could have caught the second ball for the Casemiro goal. Joao Pedro is in danger of picking up a bad injury by being overplayed. Enzo needs to rest. Again, yeah, to me, Joao Pedro probably one of the few sparks in that game. Who knows what could have been if he had some support of some more attacking players there. But hey, he was the only one, so we'll never know, will we? I feel like Maresca is helping Amarim to win the game so he doesn't get sacked. I guess. Maresca won't take us to the title. We need a goalkeeper. We didn't get one, and a centre-back. Yeah, Kieran, and guess what? Maresca did shout for that. He did want a centre-back, didn't he? He didn't get one, though. But Grimsby beat them. Please don't even bring that up, because I said it to my dad, and again, it just made me sad. Yeah, no words. Garnacho drive at a tired back 3. It was there for him to set up. It was Michael, but then again, what is the justification? Why didn't Garnacho come on? Why was Tyreek George and Malo Gusto the better options? Like, someone please actually give me a sensible justification. I don't even mean this sarcastically. I genuinely really want to understand why why that was the case. And I can see some Maresca quotes coming through, so we'll get through those in just a moment because we all want to hear from the man, don't we? If you think watching that game from the comfort of your home was a punishment, imagine watching it while getting drenched. You know what, Paul? I can't even imagine it. I mean, I said to my dad, because we could have been there today, imagine that. But fair play to the Chelsea fans who were there and stayed until the very end. I mean, yeah, it's a horrific thing to witness. It's an absolutely horrifying result, but even just the manner in itself, everything about that game, it was just a huge disappointment. Chrissy hates Chelsea. Hi Jake. Hi Chrissy. Old Trafford was leaking again. I mean, the whole place just looked drenched. I looked at the pitch in the second half as well, and it was, I mean, yeah, the ball wasn't even bouncing off the ground. Cole Palmer, Maresca needs to go. It has begun, guys. It truly has begun. Surely this is Sanchez's last season at Chelsea. Actually, well, I'm glad you bring that up. A positive, guys, from today is that Robert Sanchez is banned for the next game, right? I mean, at least he can go and sit away and actually have a think about his actions and his decision making. If he wants to be the best player on the pitch against Bayern Munich midweek and then pull off something like that at the weekend, then frankly, that's not really a sustainable goalkeeper to have, is it? It's not a goalkeeper that's going to take you to a title, and it's not a goalkeeper that you can feel comfortable with. But then our second option is Philip Jorgensen. So again, how much has this been prepared for, planned for? How much of this has actually been, yeah, prepared for? That's all I wanted to say there. And yeah, actually, a good point here. The sad thing is our sporting directors don't see these problems. And I have been saying defence has been our real biggest weak link in this team. It is something that I worried about coming into the season, and it's only proving true every single game. I mean, like I said, any other team that's going to set up as defensively as we did after minute 4 against a team like Man United, who goals have not come as a given to them, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? It just does make you wonder, how poor can we be in defending if that's what we set out to do and we still couldn't do it? Do you know what I mean? That is actually the worst part of it, because had it been any other team that plays 5 at the back and frequently sits back and plays in a low block, they probably would have shut them out for 90 minutes. Yeah, it's a whole game, but guess what? Any other team playing a low block, do they concede those 2 goals, guys? Let me know. But yeah, I mean, I just a part of me just wishes that game wasn't real. Can someone just come out and say it was all a joke and it wasn't real? But I can't even explain to you how deflated I feel after that game. Just even watching it. That was the worst managerial performance I've ever seen in my life. Of watching football 40 plus years, absolute cowards. Well, again, I don't blame you, because Maresca had an opportunity to respond in what would have been an actually a bit of a positive way, I think. You know, yeah, okay, getting sent off minute 4, being down to 10 at minute 4, basically a whole game of playing 10v11 is not great. Obviously, later on 10v10 isn't great, but again, it's the substitutions. It is the way that he failed to plan for the game. And then when he had an opportunity to fix it late on, when he realised, oh wait, actually, maybe we can get something out of this attack. Maybe we can score a goal against United. But it was all too late. It was all too late. And again, he didn't bring on the right players after anyway. So again, what did he really win from the fact that he didn't bring on Garnacho? I genuinely don't understand. Fine, you didn't start him. Nobody's really going to give you a hard time about that if that's what you decided to opt for. But even not using him off the bench, I just don't understand, guys. Like, I genuinely need a justification for it. Mark says, I thought Neto was poor against Bayern. I would have left Steve on. No, Mark, I disagree, because I think Neto is one of our players who offers offensively and defensively just as much. He tracks back, he's fast, he offers you counter-attacking threat, he's got some great crosses. And let's be real, how many games have we seen Neto play a full 90 and not even drop his head? He doesn't get tired. He consistently runs. He's got a great work ethic. That is a player that you need on when you're down to 10 men, in my opinion. That in itself feels like you're taking off 1.5 players just because of how much energy Neto has. So this would have been a perfect game to keep him on and let him play. But hey, we'll never know. I guess we'll never know, right? Yeah, Brian, shocking that Neto came off. Indeed, that is again my biggest why Maresca. That is my biggest why. So done with Maresca. Yeah, I mean, people were rightfully questioning Maresca's decisions today. Couldn't beat us out our ground, and it seems like we never will at this point. Liverpool soon, haha. Yeah, but don't even want to think if we'd played Liverpool with these decisions today that we made, what was that scoreline going to be? I don't know, but maybe I wouldn't have watched till the full 90. I've never not watched a game, but that just felt like I was literally being punished for something. Obviously, did watch till the end, but me and Dad were just sat in silence, just literally like, what on earth is happening? Like, didn't even give us a chance. Taking off all three was a massive gamble, didn't pay off. Absolutely. Can't blame Sanchez, the defense is bad. Well, I do blame Sanchez and the defense is bad. I think both things can be true in this instance. But yeah, no, Kieran, I agree with you. They should have given Maresca a centre back. He did want one. And again, I've been the one that said I wanted a defender or a centre back rather before Levi Cole got injured. So we're talking way before summer and the Club World Cup tournament. I just always felt we were a bit too short. We don't have nearly as much depth as we do in the other departments in defence. So of course, like we were going to need some backup there, because let me tell you, I'm not comfortable in my starting centre back pairing, let alone in the depth that we have. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not confident, and that's a problem. Maresca now, yeah, he needs to just pick a pair and just continue with it. Obviously, that was Wesley Fofana. I don't know if it was just me. Did Wesley Fofana also come off looking a little bit uncomfortable? I'm not too sure if he was if he was feeling something, if something wasn't right, or he was just tired because he hasn't had minutes. But to me, he just looked like he wasn't right either. So again, where do we go from here? We're relying on someone who's supposed to be one of our best defenders in the name of Fofana, who can't stay fit, who can't offer you regular availability. So how can he even form any chemistry with any of our other defenders? Again, it's just ridiculous at this point. And sorry, but I find it funny when people say Fofana is our best defender. How is he? He's never there. He never plays. Where is he? So on paper, yeah, but we know that football isn't played on paper. So we've got a real problem here. Maybe we haven't been punished enough at the start of the season, playing against Palace, West Ham, who else we play? Fulham, Brentford, etc. Because of our defending. But guess what? We will. When we come up against teams that are so clinical up front, that one-on-one score any day of the week, we're going to be doomed. We're going to be doomed. And you can't really outscore your opponents every game. So I'm sorry who the people who are going to bring up the third best defensive record in the Premier League last season and etc., etc. But frankly, I'm not confident in our defence, and nobody can convince me otherwise heading into the rest of the season that what we have in defence is enough, that it is going to be stable, that it is going to be consistent. It is really, really worrying. Tosin, I don't know what to tell you. Again, like I said, his one-on-one defending is so questionable. If he's going to come up with the very best in the Prem, I worry. I'm not confident. Every time he is on a one-on-one situation, I'm just begging and praying that the forwards player fumbles it or does something wrong. God, guys, I feel so negative right now, but this game has just absolutely shattered me. Like, I feel so annoyed and angry and livid. I was so looking forward to this game. It's one of my favorite games. And I just said to Dad, like, I'm sorry, I know like we've got rivals, but I can't stand it. Manchester United, they've been so poor, and to have a game like that against them, to not even stand a chance from the get-go because we're let down miserably. Yeah, it's just a joke. I genuinely thought maybe this is the year. God, I'm just smiling through the pain. Will our centre backs? We won't win the UCL. We need Levi to come back. I don't care. Rush him back. Probably don't do that, because Cole Palmer, you will rush back as well. Clearly, hope that's not serious. As soon as Sanchez got sent off, I knew we were going to lose. Yep, exactly right. Right then, guys, where do we go from here? That's now a draw, a defeat, and a defeat. 3 in a row with some very questionable errors. And again, it's like in all of these games, it feels like we have let ourselves down. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we've been absolutely outclassed in every department. We have honestly allowed teams to take advantage of our own downfall, our own errors that we made, and we've been punished for it, and rightfully so. Do you know what I mean? Like even the instances against Bayern Munich, an absolutely great side, but we didn't even give ourselves a chance because again, silly individual errors and moments of losing concentration. And I don't know about you guys, but it just feels like to me, we've almost lost that collective spirit a little bit together. I know it's a few games, but you know, that unanimous kind of spirit that we have there, that collectiveness, it just feels like it's crumbled in the last couple games. And like even today against United, you guys know how much this game means to us and the history behind it. It's such a classic game to watch, yet that's the performance you come up with. Yeah, you get let down by your player, yeah, you get let down by your manager, but at the same time, pull your socks up and try and make something happen. Fight for every ball. We were just making the wrong decision, so erratic. And every time we tried to go in for a ball recovery or going for a tackle, it was either wrong, it wasn't timed right. And again, it just was wrong every time. Tracking back at times looked like such a big chore. And even going forward, I worried about us because how on earth are we going to come back? But we didn't even trouble their goalkeeper, guys. That's how bad. We didn't even trouble. Maybe in the latter stages where we had a few crosses in from Reece James and there were a few players sort of trying to crash into the box, but again, just couldn't do anything for the life of us. But apart from that, their goalkeeper had a very chill game. And I'm pretty sure they're not happy with their goalkeeper either. But hey, look at that. Look at that. Oh, God. We haven't bought a half-decent goalkeeper since 2018, nearly 10 years soon. Yeah, but that's fine because we've brought a million goalkeepers who are supposedly going to come good. Maybe are, maybe will be loaned out. I shouldn't even know, guys. But let's not forget Robert Sanchez came in to be a number 2. We've never, ever really planned for our goalkeeping situation well since the takeover. It's just been kind of left in the mud and we think that we can just get by. Well, how can we get by? You know, I always said Robert Sanchez, fine, I'll get over it. It's enough to get you top 4, but nothing more. It's just as simple as that, especially when the defense is as frail as it is as well, which just adds to it even more. Yes, thank you so much, Amir. Really appreciate it. And to everyone else who's watching and has just joined, again, just a reminder to smash the like, guys, just to make me happy after this horrific day. Saturday ruined. This is it, guys. This is the bad thing about Chelsea now playing on Saturdays as opposed to Sundays, is that we just get to have our weekend ruined on the Saturday, and then it dictates the rest of it. So that's really, really fun. Michael says Neto has the engine to run all game physically strong, can play left and right, stupid decision making. Exactly. This is exactly what I said. Neto, one of our fastest players, literally a player that can play 90 minutes and look like he's not played even 45. So good, always up for it, never gives up, never a player that accepts fate either. You know, even when we're losing, Pedro Neto is one of the players who tries, continues to edge the team on, just works his socks off. Yet apparently he isn't deserving of remaining on the pitch. Can you imagine, guys? Minute 4 and Maresca decides that having Joao Pedro as the sole attacker on the pitch is good enough for the rest of the game. Sorry, it just sounds funny every time I say it. I mean, it's ridiculous. Thank you very much, Liam. I hope you're well. Well, I have been better, but yeah. Trust the process, Paul says. Neto and Esteval, 2 of our fastest players who can break away after defending. We'll better sub them off then. Do you know what? That's actually a good point. I've been talking about Neto, but Esteval equally. Esteval, a player that literally can run at any defender, who isn't afraid to do so, has so much pace. He probably could have tried and had a solo effort here and there and just gone for it. You never know, could have done, but again, it's just a what if at this point. I seriously don't understand it. So how are we supposed to have the confidence in the remaining games, or like even in the Champions League? Because I feel like Maresca's now going to see this and almost feel threatened by opposition. Is he going to set us up defensively every single time? Are we suddenly doubting our attacking prowess and the attacking outfit that we have. So much depth there. Players that are just raring to go, can score you goals. I don't know. Maybe we'll set up with 5 at the back every single game from here on. Why don't we just do that? And the silence. Michael McIntosh says, how weird is it that my Man United friends still think they were lucky and still want Amarim out? See, Michael, that is probably the most hurtful part of it, that they are still picking out things they are disappointed with in that game. When they've not enjoyed a win in so long and they've beaten a top 6 side, etc., they are still picking out the bads in that game and still quite disappointed with their performance. Does that not just does that not tell you everything that was wrong with us in that game? And I'm sorry, like, I'm not even being disrespectful. We all know where Man United are at the moment. Man United know where they're at. They are, yeah, a mess, but we've given them some confidence and some 3 points today. So yeah, make of that what you will. What can we really say if that's the performance we showed up with and they still thought they could have done better and they were not that great in their books? We've been saying for months now about investing in the defence pre and the end of season. Yeah, true, exactly, and we haven't. I am. Honestly, this feels like a bit of a therapy session. I'm just shouting at you guys and getting your thoughts. At this point, we might lose to Spurs. Oh, don't even mention it. Richie, thank you so much for the super chat. Come now, really, we lost this United team. Yeah, still feels very fresh. But there it is, yeah. But we'll get through Maresca's comments in a moment, guys, because I just do want to find out how exactly he's comprehending this one or justifying this one. I really am just curious about the substitutions. Like, I really want to understand. I'm not even being spiteful about it. I just genuinely want to understand the justification behind it. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for your support, Richie. Really, really appreciated. What do I think of Enzo Fernandez's role in Maresca's system? Honestly, I always try and back Enzo Fernandez, and I really love the player, but he has had a very tough run in recent. He has really, really struggled. He has been a lot slower. I think some of the decision making just has been lacking. I could see he was really annoyed today, and that was really coming across in his game as well. But I'm not too sure. I really don't know, but maybe Maresca, what we might see from him is potentially try and utilise Andre Santos a little bit more moving forward. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a case of, because I don't believe Enzo wants to drop Enzo, but it could just be more of an experiment to find out how Andre Santos can come into this team. But yeah, poor. And yeah, Michael, you're right too. Enzo is too overplayed. He has pretty much played full 90s since last season. He played in the Club World Cup, he played in pre-season, and he has just continuously been deployed. So yeah, that definitely plays a part. He does need a rest, but at the same time, that's also on Enzo Maresca. He's persisting with him so much. Maybe it is time for a change. Maybe it is time to just see something different and offer some refreshment, because I feel like that's what we need. Bet you're glad you didn't go today. I can't even lie to you. I am. Hi Nina, I'm sure Chelsea will still end the season well. Thanks for the 3 points though. Not going to say you're welcome, but enjoy it, because we've clearly given you some confidence a little bit. 3 points there, and I saw people saying, oh, we need to make the best of the situation now and go score 4, 5, 6 against Chelsea. I was just reading that like, wow. But yeah, I mean, Old Trafford, the curse continues, guys, on to 2026. Yeah, we'll see you there. Always lovely to see your wonderful smile. Thank you. I really hope I get to see you at our game against Barcelona. Yeah, definitely. Do come and say hello. Thank you so much for the support. Michael, thank you for the super chat. Attack wins games, defense wins title. Amen to that. Nothing to add. Nothing to that. And again, like I said, you can't mask your frailties in defence by trying to outscore your opponents every game. Like, we want to be competing with Liverpool, City and Arsenal, yet they have the centre-back pairings at the back there that play every game, or even if they don't, where they have injuries, like with Arsenal at the moment, there's still players that can accommodate, there's still players that can step in without taking out as much quality. Even still, their back lines have had a lot more time together. Ours is still interchanging every game. So how can you possibly compete with that? We just fall short. And again, like I said, we're so comfortable in our attack. Fine, we've got great players. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of a great talent there, but you can't rely on that to see through your games every single time, right? And again, that's where it comes. But every single game from the start of the season, I have seen at least one majorly huge defensive error that has led to something. And yeah, even the very best will make mistakes. We've seen it from Liverpool as well defensively. But with us, it's just a greater concern because again, we haven't planned and prepared in the best way we can to accommodate for those bad days, to accommodate for those bad games. And I think Maresca sees that. He feels it. I don't think Maresca's happy with what he's got at his disposal in terms of our defence, because we've heard it from him. He's told us that. So yeah, you're absolutely spot on with that. But thank you very much for your support. Really, really means a lot. Thank you for your donation. We won't see Palmer now for a few months. I mean, what is the situation with Cole Palmer? Because that is quite a worry. I mean, Chelsea without Cole Palmer, boy. I know we said we're not Cole Palmer FC, but let's be real. Cole Palmer is just such a huge asset to us. And without him, I mean, even on Wednesday, Cole Palmer, again, a clear standout there. It's a real shame. It is a real shame. The positive side is the players kept trying, and this is enough proof we need an actual striker, not wingers. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit harsh here, but I slightly disagree. I don't think the players, I'm not going to say they didn't try, but I wanted to see more. I genuinely wanted to see more. This is a team that lifted trophies this summer, and I just feel like they need to have a little bit more self-esteem and trust themselves and work for each other a little bit more. You know, when times get rough, don't drop your head, don't accept your fate. And again, if you're let down by your manager ever so slightly, well, make your own luck. You know, I believe that you can create your own luck. And I just think, again, I wanted to see a little bit more, because why was it that even when Man United went down to 10 men, they still continued as they were, even before with the man advantage? Yeah, not as great. They had some poor moments themselves, but even still, it's just about the mentality, and I think that's what we've seen. And again, that's where we were separated with Bayern Munich on Wednesday. It comes down to mentality. So maybe that is something that we really do need to work on, but I guess it doesn't help when your manager hinders things on the pitch from a physical point of view. But yeah, I don't know. It's a real shame, because I genuinely believe that I believed that we go there today and get something out of it. And then I can't believe I was just even hoping. I wasn't believing it, but I was hoping for a draw in the end. I mean, at least it would have been a point, and then I could have just forgotten about that game and just left it behind and never thought about it. This game has just tarnished so much good that we've done now. I just feel so deflated after it. Yeah, no, I really don't understand it. From a tactical point of view, Maresca changing to 5 at the back with 10 men was ridiculous. Don't get it. You had no way to get out and just invited wave after wave. Exactly. Absolutely. And there's such a huge difference between getting a red card in the 4th minute and doing that, and then doing that in the 80th minute if you've gone down 10 men and you're maybe defending a narrow lead, or, you know, you can come back into a game. Such a huge difference, stark difference. So again, it just made that there was no sense in that decision. Yeah. Do you think this is Lavia's last season at Chelsea? Oh, I don't even know, to be honest with you. Lavia is just another player that almost seems like an ideology, like he's there but he's not there. When is he fit? When is he going to come back? But again, you can't really look forward to a player that hasn't made himself available for not even like half a season, less than that even. I like your videos, big up Nina. Thank you so much, Richie, and thank you for watching everything. I always really appreciate everyone's support as well. I do notice a lot of you guys always try and respond to you, but thank you so much. Your support is so appreciated, and especially in times like this, really appreciate you guys sticking around. So yeah, thank you so much for your support and your donation as well. But yeah, what else is there to say? Let me just bring up Enzo Maresca's comments and we can have a look, see what he has said, because again, I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued to hear what it is he had to say. But yeah, no, again, a huge letdown. I feel like Maresca has an opportunity to show how he faces adversity and potentially give us a little bit of a boost in confidence, because you know we are the world champions after all, and we've had a great summer. We've had some really great wins, but instead he weakened us, and he almost stripped the confidence of the players on the pitch that they could actually go and get something from that game, even though we're a man down at minute 4. And that's exactly the biggest issue I had with that. So yeah, I guess if you do want to really talk about some positives, I like the fact that even though Reece James did make mistakes, obviously his clearance being the biggest one for the second goal. Again, I wouldn't expect that really from him, but that is exactly the case. Yeah, I just really wish that he would have given us an opportunity, but he didn't. So let's just go through. Bear with me. Maresca's post-match comments. So here we go. Maresca said that after the red card, our plan and everything went in the bin. How insightful. Really, Maresca, your plan went in the bin? Well, of course it did. We didn't expect that Robert Sanchez would come out with that in the 4th minute. However, your duty as manager was still to come up with something worthwhile to give us an opportunity to continue that game in the best way we could have. And it's not like we were doomed. It's not like you didn't have the options there. It's not like we didn't have Garnacho, Gittins, Pedro Neto on the pitch already, and all of these other opportunities there. Makes no sense. And then he proceeds to say that it was probably better to just let Mbeumo score. I prefer being 1-0 down with 90 minutes left than one player down after 4 minutes. Yeah. Okay, I expected a little bit more. We're very much stating the obvious here with these sayings. Of course, we would rather just let him score and then maybe try and find our way into it, but that's done. How about taking some responsibility for the substitutions? Anyway, I mean, God, I'm mind blown here, guys. And then proceeds to tell us about there was something about Garnacho. Yeah, there it is. Garnacho was about to come on, but then Wesley Fofana asked for a change because he was tired. Sorry, I just need to process that for a moment. Garnacho was about to come on, guys, but then Wesley Fofana asked for a change, and that's why he didn't come on, because he was tired. But where is the logic in that? Because couldn't Garnacho have still come on anyway? I'm really not understanding that. Am I being crazy here, guys? Why couldn't Garnacho still come on? Am I missing something? I mean, I'm having a bit of a ... moment here, guys. Seriously? That's it? That is it? Garnacho couldn't come on because Wesley Fofana was tired? Sorry, I didn't know that Garnacho couldn't come on for Wesley Fofana. In literally, the 80th minute, 85th. I'm done, guys. That's really bad. That is really bad. Enzo Maresca confirms Garnacho is about to come on. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that probably makes me feel worse actually, having heard that, because again, I still don't understand why he couldn't have come on. It's just simply not good enough. And again, it just tells me that Maresca is basically admitting with these sayings that he really was, yeah, he was outdone in this game. He didn't have anything to even try and counter United or how they were set up, and he didn't have the ability to just think on the spot and come up with something that could have salvaged even the slightest bit of confidence, self-esteem, and maybe even a point at Old Trafford. Um, so yeah, frankly, that's horrific, and I think that's probably most definitely Maresca's worst game as manager at Chelsea. And I'm disappointed at the way that he handled this, and I'm disappointed with the adversity. And oh, of course, sorry, it's just come up that Robert Sanchez has put out a tweet apologizing to the fans. On me today, guys. Big sorry for that. Team put a massive effort on the second half, but couldn't get there with this emoji, guys. So that's fine. We forgive him, right? Don't we? It's all okay. It's fine, Robert Sanchez. That is absolutely fine, because you're apparently allowed and you're afforded a huge mistake every 5 games, because again, you've got a good shot stopping ability every now and then, and you pull out some good saves. And I get it. Every player in their career at some point is going to make a stupid error that leads to a red card, and he's going to let his team down. But frankly, with Robert Sanchez, it's a little bit bigger than that. Just affording him this one mistake of his desperation to keep a goal out. Because let's be real, that was an evident goal going in. It's the rest of it, guys. It's the rest of it. It's the very fact that since he came in 2 years ago, whatever it was, I didn't feel like Robert Sanchez was deserving to be our number one choice for the next 2, 3, 4 years, because that's what it's looking like at the minute. We seem to entertain the idea of getting another goalkeeper, and then we don't, and then just a whole merry-go-round. So it's just about waiting around to see when Robert Sanchez makes his next big error. And again, it's like, why should I settle for the fact that he's got decent shot stopping ability and he's sometimes good, when I know for a fact that after that, for the next 3 games, he's going to distribute poorly, he's going to invite pressure and give opportunities away to opposition. Again, there is no consistency there, and that's why I refuse to believe in the Club World Cup that this would actually lead to anything really consistent. And I never wanted to jump on that bandwagon. So yeah, fine, well done for taking responsibility, but that's just until the next game, until the next mistake. It's really, really not great. So as much as we want to believe in this team, as much as I obviously am supporting Chelsea, always will, love the club through and through, but I think we have to be quite realistic and look at the start of the season and say that there has been some worrying signs for the foreseeable future, or how we continue. The very fact that we have 2 wins in 6 games, that alone is a little bit worrying. Yeah, of course, in that game, in this sort of run of fixtures, you had a tough Bayern Munich side to play. We perhaps were unlucky, or again, stupidly lost out to winning against Brentford. Drew to Crystal Palace on the opening day, etc. But again, it's not good enough. And to lose in the manner we did today against Man United, yeah, it's just 2 wins against Fulham and West Ham right now that we have to show for. So again, I'm looking at last season, I'm looking at this season. I want to see us winning the big games this year. I want us to be convincing. I want us to be consistent. But we're struggling to pick up a consistent run. Yes, okay, fine, it's 6 games, but still. Next 3 games are winnable. Maresca and the team need to lock in. Yeah, absolutely. And fine, I said this. I'd rather make the mistakes now. I'd rather make them early on. I'd rather sit here and having had the results we have had, obviously bar today, because today just, really does my head in, and correct them, make them better, be better, win against the top 6 sides. Because I'm looking at the games against Arsenal, City, Liverpool. Don't know about you guys, but I want Chelsea to win some of those games. I want us to at least beat those teams once, something we haven't done. Maybe you can say Liverpool counts last season, but Liverpool had already won the league. I want to win those games. And we haven't been able to win top games. So that's a concern, right? And yeah, there's still the whole season to go. Let's not lose our heads, but I'm just very disappointed with the manner we lost today. So that's why it feels extra horrible. We're in the Champions League as well, telling me a lot we can't handle the Champions League and the Prem games together, but we have to. We prayed for times like this. We wanted this. We wanted to be back in the Champions League, and we wanted to be able to play consistently and build a bit of a streak in the league. At least I did, and play our strongest 11 on Wednesday and put out our strongest 11 at the weekends and pick up results. Yes, match day 1 in the Champions League. Again, probably the toughest opponent you could have away from home. A team that hadn't lost an opening game in 21 years. Fine, we can brush past that. But for me, it's a bigger concern about the consistency side of things. Because again, we can't be up and down, up and down. I thought we'd finally built a little bit more stability to build a bit of a streak. Yeah, okay, it's early doors, but when we get to about 10 games in the Premier League, I want to have won the majority of those. Because that is the upgrade that we were looking for this season. That's the extra step and progress we wanted to see. So, Arsenal and Liverpool are sadly 2 levels above the rest of the top 4, let alone the rest of the league. Maresca quit after 5 minutes and panicked. Yeah, pretty much. When Jose rocks up at the bridge with Benfica, imagine, didn't Benfica win their, wait, I think it was 3-0 up last time I checked. What was the score in the end? Jose back at the bridge, that's going to be one hell of a day. Yeah, Benfica won 3-0 today. Fair play to them, Jose at the wheel. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Jose back at the bridge, but if this is the football we're going to show, he's probably not going to be particularly impressed. And he'll probably be happy about that. But yeah, look, I'm really angry about today. I'm going to get over it at some point. Maybe not. I'll just choose to forget about it. And maybe I'm going to choose to put my rosy glasses on after this one, because we have to. We still have to believe, but I told you, I am concerned about our defence. I have been concerned about our goalkeeper. So I just do worry about that. I worry about the consistency we can build. I worry about how Maresca picks the team up after this one. Does he take accountability? What does he do differently? Will we see something different? And how do we approach our upcoming games? Because let's be real, I don't want it to be a case of like where Company came out prior to the Bayern Munich game saying, oh, I've done my homework on Chelsea. I figured them all out. We can't be figured out, okay? We didn't sign this much young talent and we didn't spend this much time during the Club World Cup, into pre-season, at the start of the season, to just be a team that has been figured out, and a team that makes their own mistakes and gets punished for them. So I want to believe that better days are to come, of course. It's a long season, so much more to come, so much more to play for. Again, we need to remember the badge that we have at the very front of our shirts, right? The Club World Cup badge. We're champions in that, and we need to act like them, right? So, yeah, after 15 minutes of absolute chaos and anger, I will choose to just say, I'm going to forget about this game for my own well-being, because I have to. Probably will talk about it for another few days, but then after that, just at the back of my mind, then we absolutely have to get 3 points, and it's Brighton next, isn't it, at home? A Brighton side that drew to Tottenham today. But it's a game that we absolutely must win. Robert Sanchez, we already know we won't see. And perhaps it's going to be a good thing for my own sanity. Is Joao Pedro better than Nico Jackson? What I've seen from Joao Pedro so far, I'm really happy with. I'm not particularly saying, oh, I miss Nicholas Jackson and if only Nico was here. So that would probably tell you yes, if I had to answer that. But for me, again, like I said, if I want to maybe round this out on a bit of a positive, I highly rate Joao Pedro's performance in many aspects today because I thought he was almost left to fend for himself. Well, he was, thanks to Maresca. But also, he tried to make do as best he could in some of those opportunities. At times, he was left to dry on his own, maybe like 1v3 or 4. So not much he could really do. But he did try, and maybe on another day he gets us a goal. But again, where was the service? We've seen Joao Pedro have his very better of games with Cole Palmer on the pitch, or maybe even just a Pedro Neto on the pitch. So it's not crazy to say, yeah, but absolutely agree. There's nothing more he could have done in that game. I think he absolutely gave it his all. So again, maybe if I'm having to pick out a positive performance, I'd probably say Joao Pedro. He tried. He tried to make something happen. Had no support around him, but he tried. And then Michael says he'd add James and Santos to that list. I'd say, yeah, fairs. But again, mistakes from the pair of them today as well. So just all round, not the greatest, really. Reece did well. Yeah, I think, again, some of his crosses into the box were great. We were unlucky in some aspects not to be able to maybe put one more of those away in a similar way that Trevor Chalobah did. But, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like at times he was a little bit caught out. But I just think collectively we weren't there. We weren't really with it today either. Yeah, he did. He did make the error for the second goal. Again, the clearance, it's just, I'd expect it from any other player, but not Reece James. It was just poor. It wasn't calculated properly. And yeah, obviously he's going to take responsibility for it. He always does, Reece, but it was just head loss all over the pitch for us today, guys. I mean, so many fouls. I'm pretty sure there was about 30 fouls maybe today. Obviously red cards apiece, but nothing really that could have helped us. And again, I wasn't particularly counting on them going down to 10 men for us to get anything out of this game. Great therapy session today. Yeah, Michael, thanks for joining. It does feel good to just get it off our chest. I will be doing a separate match review as well, so make sure you give that a watch as well. Maybe I'll be a little bit more analytical in that one because I feel like I'm quite emotional in this live stream. But again, like I said, it's just really annoyed me because I've had such high expectations or higher expectations for this Chelsea side going to Old Trafford today, and I just really wasn't expecting us to let ourselves down in the way we did. And again, I just wish that Enzo Maresca didn't shoot us in the foot as much as he did. So that didn't help us out either. And again, we walk away with absolutely nothing. Oh yeah, I said this to Dad as well. I said if we were playing Liverpool today, then that scoreline is looking scary. I mean, could you imagine? I actually don't want to imagine. I don't want to imagine. That might have been the worse than the 7-0 Liverpool United. Hi Jordan, we're a laughing stock. Clearly the directors didn't take everything serious with the club. It's all about profit and didn't give the tools that Maresca wanted to. Yeah, Maresca did want a centre back. So I think in isolation, I'm going to blame Maresca for today. But in the grand scheme of things and for planning and preparing for the season, it's not Maresca's fault because he did come out and say that he wanted another centre back. That he demanded that we did need an extra defender to add to that department, and that he's frankly not so happy with it. I'm also aware of that because he picks a different partnership every single game, and he still doesn't know what to go for. So again, that's another that's another indicator that he's not happy with what he has. Do we reckon that we sign a goalkeeper and a centre-back in Jan? I'd hope for a centre-back, yes. Don't think we'll sign a goalkeeper, though. The opportunity was there over the summer. Why didn't we? And frankly, the board believes that Robert Sanchez is good enough, might I remind you. But yeah, is Palmer's injury serious? I'm actually not too sure, guys. Can someone inform us? I need to have a look and see what Palmer's situation is like, but I'm not entirely sure. I'd hope not, otherwise we're in trouble. I'm sorry, I hate to say this. I know we're not Cole Palmer's FC anymore, supposedly, but Cole Palmer is just so crucial to us right now. So let's hope that it's nothing serious and he is fine. But I just know he was disappointed to come off as well today. So Maresca said that it's a problem. There's a problem, obviously. He's got his groin issue that's been ongoing for a while. Not 100% ready, but he wanted to play the game, so the effort is huge. But after 20 minutes, he decided it was too much. So there we go. We have a Cole Palmer starting who's not 100% fit, and the risk of getting worse, only to come off after 20 minutes anyway. So I hope this isn't going to affect him long term, but he is definitely going to need a break by the sounds of things. So we're going to have to make do. Obviously, we've got Lincoln City next, so I wouldn't play him anyway. Leave Cole Palmer out of it and let him heal. But for the rest of the Premier League games, we're going to need him. So I hope he's not out for too long. But we'll find out exactly how serious that is soon. And yeah. And yeah, good shout actually, Mark, about the penalty for João Pedro. I feel like the angle they showed on that one on screen was a poor one. It really didn't show anything, in my opinion, and a lot of people were saying it should have been. I need to rewatch that situation. Clearly, again, if it was, well, fabulous, wasn't given anyway. But judging by how horrific we were on this day and how horrible this day was, probably would have missed it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much to every single one of you who joined me today on this live stream. It was great to have you guys to chat to and debrief our horrific travel to Old Trafford today. Horrible weather, horrible game, horrible decisions. Just a day to forget, really. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already, and subscribe if you've just clicked on the video and you've never come across my channel before. I will be posting a match review also very, very shortly if you want to check that out as well. Again, a huge thank you to everyone, and I hope you guys would say have a good rest of your weekend. But it's probably not going to be the case. Anyways, guys, I don't know, have a cup of tea, have a beer, have a cocktail, have a drink, whatever, or just chill out and forget about it. Anyways, yes, enough from me. I will see you very, very soon. Thank you so much to every one of you. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you.